Hi everyone, this is Mr. Neil Wright, also known as the Wax Whisperer. I hope you're all keeping well and safe wherever you are in the world. Thank you for tuning into my latest video. It's a client who attended with bilateral, fully occluding earwax. And I've started off here in the patient's worst ear, as they perceived it, which is their left ear. You can see that the wax extends right from the entrance of the ear canal. So we know we're at the entrance because you can see all the hair strands. All the hair follicles in the ear are located in the outer third of the cartilage portion of the ear canal. And this does extend all the way to the eardrum. And the type of wax the patient has in this is, at the entrance at least at the moment, it's a very damp, wet, soggy kind of consistency, which can make it difficult to vacuum. The wax is also adhered to the ear canal wall, so they've got a few skin adhesions here, and there is some matting of the earwax, so the wax has matted against some of this hair. With this type of wax, you just have to try and loosen it off the canal wall as best you can, and then I often use some olive oil earwax drops, and what I find the olive oil earwax drops does, it binds the wax together, almost like an egg in a potato cake or fish cake recipe. It binds all the ingredients together, and then when you suction it, first of all, it doesn't block the suction tube, because with this, because it's quite a mud type of wax, it does block the tube, and you probably just saw there, I just shook the zone, the suction probe, trying to unblock it. But it also enables the wax to come out in bigger chunks because it's all binded together. I'm reluctant at this stage to use any other instrument like an ear hook or a Jobson horn, because I don't know the patient's ear anatomy. I don't know if there's a prominent first or second bend, and if I insert the instrument into the wax or behind the wax against the canal wall, whether I'm going to make contact with the ear canal itself, because we just don't know the anatomy of this ear. And you will see the patient's ear, so I've removed a bit of wax there, but the patient does have a bit of a twisty first bend. So in the ear canal, everyone's ear canal, it's almost like an S-shaped bend. And although there's been no research, or at least I don't know about, as to why we've got an S-shaped bend, I can only assume it's an evolutionary trait that we've developed over millennia to help protect the eardrum. If you've got a very straight ear canal and you've got an object that flies into your ear, that can go straight towards the eardrum. So by having an S-shaped ear canal bend, I suspect that prevents trauma to the eardrum just by objects, whether it may be, entering the ear directly. There is some acoustical properties as well. By having a curvature to the ear canal, it does amplify certain frequencies of sounds. So there's two plausible reasons as to why we've got an S-bend. But with this patient, the first bend is quite prominent, and if I just went in straight away with an ear hook or Jobson horn, obviously the ear canal is completely obliterated with the wax. I couldn't see it. So it's best, as much as possible at that stage, to use suction. So I've just put some drops in there, and the wax is lodged beyond the second bend. I can just see it at the base, at the bottom of the ear canal, underneath the wax. So the patient's second bend is probably a centimetre or centimetre and a half into the ear canal. And there's that juncture, that's where the bony part of the ear canal and the cartilage portion of the ear canal meet. And at that juncture, there's a narrowing, a natural narrowing called the isthmus. And within the ear canal, there's another natural narrowing about half a centimetre away from the eardrum that's also called an isthmus. So this wax, as I know, it extends all the way now, because I could see it underneath when I lifted the wax up. So I've managed to literally drag and bring forward this huge lump of wax very deep, from very deep in the ear, very medially to near the entrance. And again, you know we're at the entrance now because you can see all the cilia, all the hairs, but it's just got lodged there. So I think I'm going to use an ear hook at this stage because I've got a better understanding of the patient's ear anatomy. I know where that first bend is. I don't want to go too deep with the ear hook because I can then touch the posterior canal wall. So whenever you're performing earwax removal, you're almost, you've got all this piece of the jigsaw that you have to bring together. You need to know the patient's ear anatomy as best as possible. Obviously, with it being blocked, it can be difficult. And then you draw upon your own knowledge of the ear canal, and through that, you can navigate and guide yourself through someone's ear. So the ear hook just sliced through the wax. I'm now using a Jobson horn, and I'm just trying to get in behind this wax now. I know I brought it forward, so I don't have to insert it too deep into the ear canal on the bony part where it's very uncomfortable. There's that piece of wax. It looks like a lump of coal that Santa left behind. There's the eardrum. It's very healthy. It's just a bit of staining of wax near the entrance. I'm just going to mop up very quickly. I'm not too concerned whether this wax, if I don't manage to remove this wax. A bit of wax is good for you. I had a comment yesterday, or a question actually, from a subscriber, a viewer. In my previous video, I was explaining the importance of avoiding water entering one's ear, and that's everyone's ear. And the viewer, the subscriber said, well, they've heard from another channel that they're encouraged to wash their ears out daily in the shower by filling up the ear. And guys, that's a big no-no. Avoid water in the ear. Water in the ear can lead to infection. And also, the water washes out the acidity that we naturally have in the ear. And also a thin layer of lipids. So there's a substance called sebum that's secreted by the sebaceous glands, and it secretes a fatty lipid structure. We have that on our hair follicles as well. So this sebaceous glands are found more or less where you've got hair strands, hair follicles, and it provides a protective film on the outer epithelial layer of skin cells, and it prevents bacterial, fungal penetrating the outer layer of skin and entering deeper into the skin. So please, please, please do not use water in your ear. And as I said, a bit of wax in the ear canal. Wax is made up of that sebaceous, that sebum secretion. It's good for you. Wax is actually good for you, believe it or not, guys. It is actually good for you. It's just bad for you and it blocks your ear completely. So avoid water, and a bit of wax in the ear, a bit of staining is absolutely fine. Just onto the right ear now. So the wax was a bit more medially impacted on this side, so I managed to just bring it forward, and it's just lodged now at the entrance. I often joke with patients like, oh, I can see the head of the wax, almost like we're giving birth to the wax. Just add a bit of humour. I think most of them appreciate it. Well, I think all of them do. They all start laughing when I say that. And they can feel it when it comes near the entrance of the ear canal. That they're like, oh God, what's that? I can feel it. Something's trying to come out. So add a bit of humour where we can, where it's appropriate, the right patient. So I'm just wriggling this wax. Again, I could have just gone in with an ear hook or forceps, but doing the procedure, I know it's on its way out. So I've got the Zollner suction probe. It's in my hand. We're there. Just a few more wriggles, and it should be out the ear. So there we are. So by the time I put the Zollner suction probe down, got the ear hook out, Jobson horn, it would have been a lot longer. So we just continued there. So because the entrance is quite narrow, that lump of wax did dissect in two, it got torn. So I've just gone back in again, just pulling this out. So the patient had been using a lot of drops, I think, in this ear. There's another huge piece of wax there. So the ear's a bit wet around the edge, there's a bit of staining on the eardrum. It's absolutely fine. I think I did try to go with a fine angle just to see if it comes off the eardrum. The patient was very still, so I felt comfortable and safe doing it. But I think some of that, we call it residual wax, it's sticking. And if you watched my video yesterday, I was joking. The only way we could get that out is by, imagine you're having a Sunday roast, your Christmas lunch, and your plate's full of gravy. Only way that's going to come out is by actually licking it or washing it. We don't want to get water in the ear, like I just explained, guys. I'm certainly not going to go inside the patient's ear and lick this off the eardrum. It's fine, but I just thought if I just hover over, if it comes off, brilliant. If not, not to worry. So that's in the anterior recess. I did manage to get a little bit off the eardrum, you can see, but there's no need for me to try and risk perforating this eardrum. If I'm thinking back to myself when I first started, I probably tried to get too much wax out, and by doing that you can cause unnecessary injury or trauma to the patient, and just through experience. And there I think the patient might have just felt that, so I quickly came out. So I think, okay, we just leave that, guys. It's not going to cause a problem. It'll naturally migrate. The whole eardrum is visible. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. You're enjoying your Sunday, and you have a great evening. Thank you. Bye.